Your body is constantly rebuilding itself, whether you are aware of it or not. Every breath you take, every step you make, every muscle you challenge during the day sends a signal to your system that repair is required. Nighttime is when that repair accelerates. While you sleep, hormones shift, inflammation settles, and muscle tissue enters a deep state of regeneration. If you support that process correctly, you don't just recover, you rebuild stronger, more resilient, and more efficient than before. Many people focus only on what they do in the gym or during the day, but they underestimate what happens when the lights go off. The night is not passive. It is active, intelligent, and strategic. Your nervous system downshifts, growth-related hormones rise, and your body decides what to repair first. The nutrients available during this window can either support that rebuilding or interfere with it. Certain vitamins and minerals work in harmony with your natural nighttime biology. Magnesium is one of the most powerful. It plays a role in muscle relaxation, nerve signaling, and protein synthesis. When magnesium levels are adequate at night, muscles are less tense, recovery is smoother, and sleep quality improves. Deep sleep is not a luxury, it is a requirement for muscle repair. Without it, growth is compromised no matter how hard you train. Vitamin D is often misunderstood as a daytime vitamin because of its connection to sunlight, but its role in muscle function goes far beyond that. Vitamin D supports muscle strength, testosterone balance, and inflammation control. When levels are optimized, muscles respond better to training stress. Taken consistently, it supports long-term recovery and tissue resilience. Muscle fibers that are inflamed or deficient cannot rebuild efficiently. Zinc is another overlooked ally. It is essential for cellular repair, immune function, and hormone regulation. During sleep, zinc supports the enzymatic reactions that rebuild damaged tissue. Also plays a role in maintaining healthy testosterone levels, which are critical for muscle maintenance and recovery. Deficiency doesn't announce itself loudly, but it quietly limits progress. Vitamin C, when used correctly, supports collagen formation and tissue repair. Muscles do not exist in isolation. They are connected through tendons, fascia, and connective tissue. Vitamin C supports these structures, helping the entire system recover more completely. It also assists in controlling oxidative stress that accumulates after intense training. Balance is key because recovery requires both repair and adaptation. But just as important as what supports nighttime recovery is what disrupts it. Some supplements work directly against your body's natural sleep repair cycle. Stimulatory vitamins taken at night can interfere with nervous system calm. B-complex vitamins, while essential, are activating. They increase energy metabolism and neurological activity. Taken at night, they can fragment sleep, reduce deep sleep phases, and sabotage recovery without you realizing why you wake up unrested. Another common mistake is consuming supplements or substances that elevate cortisol late in the day. Anything that overstimulates the nervous system sends a signal that the body should remain alert, not rebuild. Muscle growth requires parasympathetic dominance, the state where the body feels safe enough to repair. If your system stays in fight or flight, recovery slows dramatically. This is not about chasing shortcuts or miracle solutions. It is about alignment. When your behavior aligns with your biology, progress becomes inevitable. When it doesn't, effort increases and results decrease. The body responds best when it is supported, not forced. Muscle is not built through aggression alone. It is built through patience, consistency, and respect for recovery. The strongest individuals are not those who punish their bodies relentlessly, but those who understand when to push and when to restore. Nighttime nutrition is a form of respect. It says you understand the process and are willing to work with it. Sleep itself is the most anabolic state your body enters naturally. Growth hormone secretion increases, tissue repair accelerates, and inflammation is regulated. The nutrients present during this time either enhance or blunt that effect. This is why timing matters. The same vitamin taken at the wrong time can produce a different outcome. Recovery is not weakness, it is strategy. When muscles are properly rebuilt, strength increases without injury, endurance improves without burnout, and consistency becomes effortless. When recovery is ignored, the body adapts by slowing progress, increasing soreness, and eventually forcing rest through fatigue or injury. Your body keeps score. Every night you either invest in recovery or withdraw from it. The difference shows up weeks later, not immediately. That delayed feedback is why many people miss the connection. They train harder, push longer, and wonder why progress stalls. Often, the answer lies in what happens after the workout ends. There's discipline in choosing rest supportive habits. There's maturity in understanding that growth is not always loud or dramatic. Sometimes growth happens quietly, in darkness, while you sleep. The people who master this phase separate themselves from those who rely only on effort. Supporting muscle recovery at night is not about obsession. It is about awareness. Awareness of how the body functions, how nutrients interact with circadian rhythms, and how small adjustments produce disproportionate results. When you respect the process rewards you. Strength is built when stress is followed by repair. Without repair, stress becomes damage. Vitamins and minerals are not magic, but they are tools. Used intelligently, they support the systems that allow your body to rebuild itself night after night, silently, efficiently, relentlessly. The most powerful transformation does not happen when you are lifting, running, or pushing. It happens when you are still, unconscious, and recovering. What you choose to support your body with during that time determines whether tomorrow you wake up stronger or simply more tired. Muscle rebuilding does not occur when you are lifting weights, running, or pushing through exhaustion. Those activities create the stimulus, but they also create microscopic damage. The actual rebuilding, the part that makes you stronger, happens later and mostly at night. While you sleep, your body shifts into a repair-focused state that cannot be replicated during waking hours. Hormones rebalance, inflammation is regulated, and muscle protein synthesis increases. This process is automatic, but its effectiveness depends on whether your internal environment supports it. Nighttime is when the nervous system transitions from a state of alertness to a state of restoration. During the day, your body prioritizes performance and survival. At night, it prioritizes repair and adaptation. This shift is essential. Without it, training stress accumulates without resolution, leading to fatigue rather than growth. Deep sleep is especially important because it is during these phases the growth hormone peaks and cellular repair accelerates. Many people underestimate how sensitive this repair window is. Small disruptions in sleep quality or nervous system balance can significantly reduce recovery. Fragmented sleep, elevated stress hormones, or late night stimulation all interfere with the body's ability to enter and maintain the deep restorative stages required for muscle rebuilding. Even if total sleep time appears sufficient, poor quality of sleep diminishes the anabolic effect. Alignment with circadian rhythm plays a critical role. Your body operates on an internal clock that governs hormone release, digestion, temperature regulation, and cellular repair. When your behaviors support this rhythm, consistent sleep timing, reduced nighttime stimulation, and appropriate nutrient availability, the body works efficiently. When behaviors conflict with it, repair becomes inefficient and inconsistent. Muscle tissue does not regenerate in isolation. The process requires coordination between the nervous system, endocrine system, immune response, and cellular metabolism. At night, this coordination improves because competing demands decrease. There is no need for rapid decision-making, physical output, or heightened alertness. Resources can be redirected toward rebuilding damaged fibers and reinforcing connective tissue. This is why recovery cannot be forced during the day. No amount of additional training can replace the biological processes that occur during sleep. In fact, excessive training without adequate nighttime recovery creates a deficit. The body adapts by slowing progress, increasing soreness, and reducing performance as a protective mechanism. The rebuilding process is also cumulative. One poor night does not undo progress, but repeated disruption compounds over time. Chronic sleep debt, stress, or misalignment gradually erode recovery capacity. Muscles become less responsive to training stimuli, injuries become more likely, and motivation declines. These outcomes are often blamed on age or genetics when the true cause is insufficient nighttime repair. Understanding this shifts the focus from constant effort to intelligent support. Training provides the signal. Sleep provides the solution. The stronger and more consistent the recovery environment, the more effectively the body responds to training. This is why two people can follow similar routines with vastly different results. One aligns with recovery, the other unknowingly sabotages it. Nighttime rebuilding also affects long-term resilience. Proper recovery strengthens not only muscle fibers, but also tendons, ligaments, and connective tissue. These structures adapt more slowly than muscle and rely heavily on consistent repair conditions. Without adequate nighttime support, muscles may grow faster than their support systems can handle, increasing injury risk. Recovery alignment also influences mental clarity and motivation. The same restorative processes that rebuild muscle also stabilize mood and cognitive function. When sleep and recovery are optimized, training feels purposeful rather than draining. Consistency becomes easier because the body feels capable rather than depleted. Muscle growth is not an aggressive process, it is a cooperative one. The body responds best when stress is followed by sufficient restoration. Nighttime is the natural setting for that restoration. Ignoring it forces the body into a constant state of compensation rather than adaptation. When you respect the role of night in rebuilding, training becomes more efficient. Less volume produces better results. Effort translates into progress instead of fatigue. Recovery stops being an afterthought and becomes part of the strategy. This understanding removes the illusion that more is always better. Progress depends less on how much stress you apply and more on how well your body is allowed to respond to it. The night is when the response is decided, regulated, and executed, silently shaping the result. You see, weeks and months later, not all vitamins behave the same way once the sun goes down. The body does not process nutrients in a vacuum. It processes them with a rhythm governed by the nervous system, hormones, and sleep cycles. What supports energy, focus, and metabolism during the day can easily disrupt restoration at night. This is why timing matters just as much as selection. A vitamin can be beneficial in one context and counterproductive in another. At night, the body is preparing to shift into parasympathetic dominance, the state responsible for repair, digestion, and regeneration. Muscles rebuild only when this system is active. Nutrients that promote calm, mineral balance, hormone regulation, and tissue repair work in cooperation with this state. They support relaxation of muscle fibers, improve sleep depth, and the biochemical reactions required for rebuilding damaged tissue. Minerals and vitamins that assist relaxation and enzymatic repair help the body complete the work initiated by training. They do not stimulate, they stabilize. They reduce neuromuscular tension, support protein synthesis, and allow growth-related hormones to do their job without interference. When these nutrients are present, sleep becomes deeper, interruptions decrease, and recovery becomes more efficient even if total sleep time remains the same. In contrast, stimulating vitamins send a conflicting signal. They increase metabolic activity, elevate neurological firing, and subtly activate the stress response. While this is useful for daytime productivity, it directly opposes the biological requirements of nighttime recovery. The nervous system cannot fully disengage when stimulation remains present. As a result, sleep becomes lighter, more fragmented, and less restorative. B-complex vitamins are a clear example. They play an essential role in energy, metabolism, and nervous system function, but they are activating by nature. Taken at night, they may increase alertness, vivid thinking, or restlessness. Even when sleep is not consciously disrupted, deep sleep stages can be shortened. This reduces growth hormone release and slows muscle repair without producing obvious symptoms the next morning. Another issue is cortisol elevation. Anything that increases alertness late in the day can keep cortisol slightly elevated into the night. Cortisol is not inherently bad, it is necessary for waking and performance. But elevated cortisol at night competes with anabolic processes. Muscle rebuilding requires a low-stress internal environment. Even mild stimulation can tilt the balance in the wrong direction. This is why some people feel they are doing everything right, yet still wake up sore, fatigued, or unrefreshed. They may be training well and sleeping long enough, but their nighttime biochemistry is misaligned. The body receives mixed signals, rebuild and stay alert at the same time. When that happens, the body chooses survival over growth. There's also the issue of oxidative stress. Some nutrients, when taken in excess or at the wrong time, can blunt the adaptive response to training. Recovery is not just about reducing stress, it is about managing it. The body needs a certain level of controlled stress to signal adaptation. Interfering with this process at night can reduce long-term progress. This does not mean vitamins are harmful. It means they must be used with awareness. The goal at night is not stimulation, optimization, or enhancement. The goal is completion. The body is finishing the work it began during the day. Anything that interrupts that sequence delays results. Another common mistake is stacking supplements without understanding interaction. Combining stimulating nutrients with calming ones does not cancel the effect, it creates noise. The nervous system responds to the dominant signal. If stimulation is present, relaxation will be incomplete. Clean, simple support works better than excess. Consistency also matters. Nighttime recovery depends on repeated signals over time. When calming, repair supportive nutrients are used consistently and stimulating ones are avoided late, the body adapts. Sleep quality improves gradually. Muscle soreness decreases. Training capacity increases without additional effort. People often chase more intensity when progress slows, but the real limiter is recovery efficiency. Muscles are willing to grow, but only when the environment allows it. Vitamins that support that environment enhance results. Vitamins that disrupt it quietly undermine them. This is not about restriction, it is about precision. The same nutrient taken earlier in the day can support performance and metabolism. Taken at night, it can work against recovery. Understanding this distinction transforms supplementation from guesswork into strategy. When nutrient timing aligns with circadian biology, the body responds predictably. Sleep becomes deeper. Hormones normalize. Muscle repair accelerates. When timing is ignored, even high-quality supplements fail to deliver their potential. Recovery thrives in simplicity and consistency. Calm supports growth. Stimulation delays it. Knowing which vitamins belong in the night and which should stay in the day allows the body to do what it is designed to do: repair, rebuild, and adapt while you rest. Recovery is often misunderstood as something passive, something that happens automatically if you simply stop training. In reality, recovery is an active discipline, one that requires as much intention as effort itself. Strength is not built by endlessly pushing forward. It is built by understanding when to apply stress and when to allow the body to respond to that stress. This balance is what separates sustainable progress from chronic fatigue and injury. Many people associate rest with weakness because they equate productivity with constant action. But the body does not grow during effort. It adapts after effort. Training breaks tissue down, taxes the nervous system, and creates a demand for repair. Recovery is the phase where that demand is met. Without it, effort accumulates without resolution, and progress stalls regardless of motivation or willpower. Strategic recovery means recognizing that the body has limits, but also an extraordinary capacity to rebuild when supported correctly. Muscles, tendons, and connective tissue all require time and resources to adapt. When recovery is prioritized, the body responds by becoming stronger, more resilient, and more efficient. When it is ignored, the body compensates by slowing progress, increasing soreness, and eventually forcing rest through exhaustion or injury. Discipline plays a central role here. It is easy to push harder when emotions are high and energy feels available. It is harder to step back, sleep properly, eat with intention, and respect recovery signals. Yet those quieter decisions often determine long-term outcomes. Recovery is not dramatic, but it is decisive. Consistency matters more than intensity. A body that is consistently supported recovers more completely than one that is occasionally overwhelmed. This consistency builds trust within the system. The nervous system becomes more adaptable. Hormonal responses stabilize. Inflammation resolves more efficiently. Over time, this creates a foundation where progress becomes predictable instead of sporadic. Ignoring recovery often leads to chasing short-term gains at the expense of long-term health. Early progress can mask underlying strain. Strength may increase temporarily, but joints begin to ache, sleep becomes restless, and motivation declines. These are not signs of weakness, they are warning signals. The body communicates clearly when it is not being allowed to complete the recovery cycle. Recovery is also psychological. The nervous system must feel safe enough to shift out of alert mode. Chronic stress, constant stimulation, and lack of rest keep the body in a defensive state. In that state, repair is deprioritized. Strategic recovery creates conditions of calm where rebuilding becomes possible. This is why routines matter. Consistent sleep times, appropriate nutrient timing, and reduced nighttime stimulation send a clear message to the body that it is time to restore. Over time, the body responds by entering deeper sleep states more efficiently. Recovery becomes faster and more complete without requiring additional effort. True strength is not measured by how much you can endure without rest, but by how effectively you can recover and return stronger. Athletes who last are not those who train the hardest every day, but those who train intelligently over years. Their discipline includes knowing when to stop, when to support, and when to allow adaptation to occur. Recovery also protects motivation. When the body feels restored, training feels purposeful rather than draining. Energy is available not just physically but mentally. Focus improves, confidence grows. Progress feels sustainable instead of fragile. Viewing recovery as strategy rather than weakness changes behavior. It removes guilt from rest and replaces it with intention. Rest becomes productive. Sleep becomes non-negotiable. Supportive habits become part of the training plan rather than optional add-ons. The body is designed to grow stronger when challenged appropriately and supported consistently. Recovery is the bridge between effort and results. Without that bridge, effort falls into exhaustion. With it, effort turns into measurable progress. When you respect recovery, you extend your capacity. You reduce injury risk. You increase longevity. Strength becomes something you can maintain, not something you briefly touch and then lose. Progress is not built by force alone. It is built by rhythm, stress followed by restoration, effort followed by repair. discipline followed by patience. When recovery is treated as a strategic priority, the body responds with strength that lasts, performance that improves, and resilience that carries forward day after day, night after night, quietly compounding beneath the surface as the system adapts and rebuilds in alignment with its natural design. Real muscle growth is not the result of harder effort alone, but of smarter alignment with how the body is designed to heal and rebuild. Training creates the signal, but sleep, recovery, and properly timed nutrients determine whether that signal becomes strength or stagnation. When nighttime repair is supported instead of disrupted, the body responds by growing stronger, more resilient, and more efficient without unnecessary strain. Understanding which vitamins support recovery and which interfere allows you to work with your biology instead of against it, turning rest into a powerful tool rather than a missed opportunity. When recovery is treated as a disciplined strategy instead of an afterthought, progress becomes sustainable, performance improves naturally, and strength is built in a way that lasts. Support your nights with intention, and your body will reward you with strength that is rebuilt while you sleep.